Hi, I'm Alex. This is my wife Angie and my son Matthew. And the first time that I decided to give the first to God financially, I had rededicated my life to God. And my life was pretty much in turmoil. My family, my employment, everything in my life was pretty much hit rock bottom. And I had destroyed my life to the point where I couldn't fix it. So I ran to the only place I knew where was God. And I gave him not only my heart, but my finances, my money, everything. And I did it trusting and believing in God, that he was going to restore everything that I had destroyed. And prior to that point, I was somebody that worried about finances. I was always looking at the budget, trying to balance everything out. Yet I was a spender, and I was not a good steward of that money. And I was using that money for things that weren't pleasing God. And I always just struggled with how to keep money in my bank account. We continue to stand on faith. Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And we trusted in that word, and we believed in God that he was going to provide. And one of the most beautiful things about this whole journey was that even though we didn't have any of those things, we didn't lack anything. We had people around us that were being very generous to us, opening up their homes for us to live in, buying us food. There were people blessing us, even though we didn't have anything. But then when God finally opened that door for us, we saw this as an opportunity for us not only to restore our finances, but to return that generosity to others. And that's what it all comes down to is we were asking God to bless us so that we could be a blessing to others the way we were blessed.
There was a point where he was very stressed out about money, and he would get to the point where he gets so stressed out that he actually he'll make himself sick. He would actually get flu symptoms, and he had to be in bed because he was so stressed out, and he'll get sores, and it was just very stressful all the time because he was always worrying, what are we gonna do? We never have any money. And it was always there was a lot of tension because of that stress. And but now that we've decided that no matter what, we always do our tithes first. We always give our first to God. And even though at first it was a process getting used to knowing that God came first. And but once we decided to do that, even though at first we still had very little money, we always had a lot of peace. He was no longer stressed out about anything. We noticed that a relationship, not only with just the two of us, but with Matthew also, it became a more cohesive relationship. We learned not only to become selfless with our money, but more selfless with each other.
I just want to encourage those of you who are struggling with the idea of giving or tithing or giving your offerings, that I was there. I was one of those people that's very skeptical about giving money to anybody else when I needed it more than anybody. I saw people with more than things than I did. It just didn't feel right for me to be giving money that I could be using. But then if you notice, what I've been saying is I. It was all about me. And when I decided that to let God be the Lord of my life, I chose to follow what Proverbs 3:5 and 6 says. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he's going to direct your path. So I put my trust in God, not in what I can do, but in what God can do. And we both acknowledged that it was going to be God who was going to carry us through. And it was a process, like she said. At first it was difficult. We had to learn how to budget, but you know what? God was there every step of the way. And from this, now we want to give. We look forward to giving because we have received those blessings that God has promised. in Malachi 3:10, and we want you to receive that blessing as well.